Hi everyone, my name is Mark of Mark Cake. So I'm here to address issues of red velvet cake. Mostly, a lot of people listen me DM. My red velvet cake always turn brown. It's not moist and it's too heavy. So let's start with the color. So the color you use mostly determine the outcome of your red velvet cake. And there's a lot of color. There's liquid, there's powdered form. So I will advise you go for a good color. Currently I'm using a powdered version of red. So what I normally do, I seal it with my dry item. That's the flour and the rest. So I seal it so that you don't have all those spots on it. You can choose to go with the liquid rather. Liquid is okay. I used to use liquid, but I started having that issues of half will be brown. Then I opted for the powdered one. So that one aside, let's talk about the oil. The oil you use will determine how light or how dense your cake will be. Most people go for canola oil. No offense, I've used canola oil and it made my cake so heavy I had to stop using it. And most people use olive oil. Olive oil will make it so dense you can't even. Olive oil, mostly there's a version of healthy cake that you use olive oil for, not for red velvet cake at all. So my best option for baking oil, my best baking oil rather, is sunflower oil. Any brand of sunflower oil is very nice. That's what I use for baking. So that's aside. Now let's talk about buttermilk. So buttermilk now, we don't have buttermilk in Nigeria. So a lot of people don't know how to make buttermilk, or they use a milk that is not how do I put it? Some people use a creamy version of milk. So I think the best milk to use for making a buttermilk substitute is a full cream milk. Okay, that's what I have in a bowl now. And there's two options you can use for making your buttermilk. You can either use vinegar, or you can use lemon juice. So before we continue, let me just show you. So I'm going to measure out a cup-ish, so that I can show you that you can use different. This is a full cream milk, 1 cup-ish. All right, I'm going to put it here. So you can see different version of making a buttermilk. All right, this is 1 cup. All right, so this is 1 cup. All right, so I'm going to use vinegar for this and then use lemon juice for this. All right, so this is 1 tablespoon of vinegar, white distilled vinegar, and I'm going to measure out. Let me put this here so it doesn't drop. I'm going to measure out 1 tablespoon rather, of lemon juice. All right, so I'm going to allow this to sit, just to give it a sweep. I'm going to allow it to sit for at least for 10 minutes before using. Same thing with this. So these two will give me the buttermilk I need. So you can do this previous day and keep. So back to what we are discussing about. So this is what things you need to make a buttermilk substitute: by putting a full cream milk to 1 tablespoon to either vinegar, or you're using a lemon juice. So that one aside, what's the next topic? Okay, another thing that can make your red velvet cake turn from red that you desire to brown is the heat of your oven. Red velvet cake is like a drama cake. It doesn't need heat. And it doesn't need heat. And another advice I will give for it is for you to bake in layers. Like, instead of pouring all your cake batter in one pan, it's better to separate. Like, if you're baking for 8 inches, better to have 2 8-inch pan and separate it. So lesser time in the oven, lesser time your cake will get brown and reduce. I normally bake with 150. If I'm using like this electric oven rather, I bake with 150. If you're using industrial, because ovens are different, I will always advise you bake with medium heat. Bake with medium heat, and don't put the red velvet at the lowest bottom of your oven. Let it be at the middle of the oven. All right, so with this point of mine, I will really hope that your red velvet cake comes out better next time. And another point I want to make is, once you're done baking your cake, and it has cooled down in the pan. It's better you remove it from the pan, wrap it up with a foil paper or cling film, and then store in the freezer if you're not using. Every cake is like bread. If you leave it on the table, it's going to dry out. So it's not just about baking a moist cake, it's how do you maintain it afterwards, how do you preserve it afterwards. So thank you for listening. So as you can see, you can notice, so this is the lemon. You can notice the curdling. Remember the buttermilk we made? You can notice the curdling. It's curdling already, right? It's curdling already. So this is the buttermilk substitute. So you can either use, and you can see this, this is the vinegar. That they will just still give you the same outcome. Either lemon juice or vinegar. So whatever you use. Another thing I want to mention about red velvet cake also is knowing the type of flour you are using. We have different types of flour in the market. We have wheat flour, we have I think gluten-free flour, and also we have bread flour. So you should use all-purpose flour, or depending on whether you're making a butter-based or oil-based red velvet. If you're making a butter-based red velvet, you should use cake flour. It's very nice for your butter-based red velvet cake. If you're making an oil-based red velvet cake, it's always good to go with all-purpose flour. Like that's the normal flour. So thank you so much for listening. Bye. I'll still take questions below. If you still have more questions to ask me, comments. Remember to like, subscribe, and comment. So many more to come. See you next time.